Hello everybody, and today I'm going to go through the top 3 nerfed units. Debuffed units, the units have been made weaker in the 8th edition Necron index. Number 3 is the Heavy Destroyer. I know a lot of people saying, oh, Heavy Destroyers are awesome, I have to get tons of Heavy Destroyers for my army, and so on. Let me tell you why they're on my list for number 3. They're simply number 3 because they are still usable, and they are still good. But from 7th edition, they used to hit everything on a 3+, reroll the 1s, which they can do now. But the major difference is, these used to wound on a 2+, almost everything in the game, and have reroll on 1s to wound, which they do not have anymore, because they lost preferred enemy. Okay, and another major nerf they've had, they're unable to shoot now, and then run away after shooting. That was the key to keeping these things alive. Okay? Now, you have to be in line of sight or something, you shoot it, and you can't move. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is, and I'll tell you why now. Let's go back to the preferred enemy first. Just like, oh, preferred enemy, you can always bring this guy with you. He gives them the only ones to wound, so it's a preferred enemy from the old edition. So they all have to be within a certain range. But the major problem with that is now, what I've noticed in my games, if you do this, your only Heavy Destroyers are together. It's almost impossible to get all these in cover, so you cannot get the cover save of most of these. Whichever unit is out of cover, the opponent will focus fire. And because you only have unit size of 3, you only have 9 wounds with no reanimation till your turn. So you can easily lose all 3 in one round of shooting, easy. There's only got 3 of armor. So the problem is, you cannot get a cover save of all 9 near this guy. If you don't take this Destroyer Lord, okay, say, oh, well, I won't take the Destroyer Lord, I'll keep these guys, you know, around the field like I used to do in 7th edition. They're hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. So on average, well, on average, you might miss for 1, but you're wounding most things on a 3 now, not a 2. You don't reroll 1s. So third year shots are going to miss. So if you take all of these, all 9, say you miss for 2, and another third you miss with. So some of those, make it hard to miss with all of them. So you say miss 1 each. So then you miss with another third, you're just trying to wound something, so you go like this. Then roll a 3. So you're already down to 4 destroyers going through. That's over 800 points in your army. And another thing is, which I found out the hard way, if you're fighting something with a 4-pin run, especially if you're rolling 1s, only half are getting through. So another 2 down. So you got 800 points, okay. Trying to shoot something with 4-pin run, let's do D6 damage. Okay, and I've played games, right? I've played games with 9 destroyers, I've wiped out entire tuned armies by turn 3, because I got really lucky in my rolls. But I've also had the opposite. I've had 2 you go through, and I've rolled 1 and 2s, 2 or 3 times in a row. 800 points for like 4 wounds max a turn. So that to me is a major weakness. Okay, I really think they should have the preferred enemy back, or they should do 3 damage plus D3 damage, because the D6 is just not reliable for the points, and they're extremely fragile. Like I said, they're hard to get into cover, the base is so big. So if you haven't got Destroyer Lord, they miss more. So they need to make them work properly, is have a big unit with Destroyer Lord, and then you just get focus fire. If you keep them all together, your opponent will just deep strike and bring in some characters to wipe you out, and you can't get away. So that is why they are on my number 3 list. They are still usable, and I will still use them, but they are no longer as good as they were in 7th. And a lot of people have never really played with 7th because you're obsessed with Decurion, which sucked. So that is why they're number 3. Okay, those of you who have actually used these in 7th edition will realise how good they were. The Khan effects is Terminator's dead, nothing. Now, it's just, the D6 damage is just too unreliable for the points. 75 points each. It's just, it's worth it, but it's not reliable. Okay then, let's get on to number 2. Okay, number 2 is the Doomslayer. I know you're like, what the hell are you on about? The Doomslayer's awesome. It's not. It was never good in 7th edition, and it's no good now. It's good, because it's hard to kill. Okay, against the right weapons, this thing just will not die. But the biggest problem with this is it's heavy D3. Okay. So, if you're very unlucky, so you got 3 of these. Okay, it's 200 points, over 200 points each, so it takes 203 points each. That's 600 points, and if you're really unlucky, you get 3 shots. So hitting on 3s, you get 2 shots, really. and it does d6 damage, it doesn't matter. That is just bad. If they're 3-shot standard, they would be good, because you're guaranteed to get at least 2 hits on them. But you can shoot into a unit of 20, you get heavy d6. But let's be honest, how many units of 20 are you going to really shoot at this with this? Because a unit of 20 will be easy to kill with the warriors, so you won't even need to shoot this at units like that. So the biggest reason why it's my number 2 is it's worse than the Heavy Destroyer. It has the potential to do more damage than the Heavy Destroyer for the points. It has the potential to do a lot less damage for the points also. It's a lot harder to kill than the Heavy Destroyer though. So you're something resilient that will just stick around forever. This will do the job. But the output it can do is very low for the points. Okay, and it's a heavy weapon, so you can't even run away and shoot it properly. You'll be hitting off walls. You take too much wounds, it will lose its ballistic skills. So that is number 2 for the nerf. It's still usable because all units are usable in this edition. But the main thing is the randomness just sucks. This was the strongest weapon we had in 7th. It did 10 damage, AP 1. What's the harm of giving this a 6 damage standard? Why is it heavy d6? Why is it d6 damage? It's stupid. You know, granted you can shoot this at night and kill it in 1 turn. You can do it with destroyers, but it's just the randomness. It's just not reliable. That's why it's number 2. Slightly worse than destroyer, but harder to kill. Okay. And let's go on to number 1. These were my favourite units in 7th. They weren't the strongest, but they were my favourite. And let's see what they are. Okay, and the number 1 nerfed weakest unit in the index is unfortunately my favourite looking model. The Lychguard. Why are they the weakest model now? People say, oh, they got 2 up save, they're really hard to, 2 up, they got 2 wounds, they're really hard to kill, right? But the biggest problem is with these, okay, is their invulns only a 4+. Okay, and so you get extra wound to compensate for that. Let's realistically, right, if you use Lychguard, what do you always end up in combat with? Do you end up in combat with Space Marines? No, you do not. You end up in combat with Demon Princes, nasty things, the things that will just come down and destroy you. Wraith Knights even. That's what you end up in combat with, okay? So what's the problem with that, okay? Is most of these models do 3 damage plus in combat. And you've only got a measly 4+ invulnerable save for all them extra points. Okay, so they basically got like a space when people are like, oh, the Lychguard won't die, we can't kill them with Grav. They just slap the space between players in the face for me. So they get the 5-up shield, they're better than ours. You know, our technology is better. Okay, so a 50% chance of saving a wound. Okay, so that means these guys will go down after they fail a wound. They have no reanimation to fall back on, so you could easily lose 4 or 5 in round combat. Okay? And they only have a 5-inch movement. So like hell, right, are you going to get charged on anything with these? Unless you use the Deceiver, plus you need the Vanguard Oberon. And you need the Nemesis Andrix, Deep Strike him in. So that's extremely expensive. And it's not 100% guaranteed anyway. You can always fail the charge. But it's probably impossible to fail the charge if you're like that far from it. But it's a lot of points just to send these into Assault 1 unit. When realistically the job used to be to take on the big nasty stuff and hold them there. These guys were never designed to kill stuff. Okay? You're supposed to go into the Magnus the Red, you're supposed to go into the nasty stuff, the Bloodthirsters, and just hold them there for a few turns. Okay? That's why they were slow. Now, they're very expensive, the swords are better, they can kill things easier, but like I said, you're never going to get charged on anything. Okay? So you can get hit by something really nasty, and you just lose them like nothing. They're just like boom, boom, boom. Just wiped out. But you say, okay, the shields are crap. Just take Owen Divine and give a 5 invuln and use War Scythe. Okay, so why are these still number 1? These are still number 1, right? Because these, originally when they first came out, you couldn't take invuln saves off them. You took that away, people bitching by. So they give them Armor Bane. But now, they have nothing for vehicles. So why is that? These were the can openers. These used to just destroy tanks. These are what they were designed for. They weren't designed to go into infantry. They were designed to kill the Imperial Knights and stuff. So why haven't these got against anything with vehicles or Titanic does D6 more wounds or something? Why just +2 damage and why +2 strength and 2 damage? It's crap because you're never going to catch anything with them. You're going to get hit by something nasty. And you just gonna lose them. The 5-up invuln is not that good. At least you have an invuln on them now. But like I said, anything in combat with will do more than 2 wounds to damage anyway. So you just like boom, boom, boom. You get to hit back with like 3 or 4, and then you get to reanimate half of them back if you go 4 up. And then the next round of combat, you're probably going to lose the rest. Maybe end up with 1, if he doesn't join you with something else. Okay. That's the problem with the Lychguard. This is why they're number 1, is because they've been nerfed. They've taken away their strengths. They haven't got their armor bane, or anything equivalent. They only got 5-inch movement, which is fair enough, because they're supposed to be big, lumbering killing machines. These were supposed to be like, oh crap, these catch you, you're going to lose whoever touches. Now it's like, Lychguard, 4-up invuln, who cares? I'll just shoot him with normal bolter, they'll go down easy enough. Because you can't be more 1s anymore with Orc and Divine. Originally, these should bounce back shots. So if you had a 4-up invuln, they should have something similar to that, or a chance to hurt whoever shoots them on a 6+ or something like that. These have just been nerfed. They're just useless right now. You can obviously use them with the Deceiver and the Night Scythe, but the role they had is gone. You're basically first turn assault units, and even then they're not guaranteed to win. So unfortunately, the awesome Lychguard are gone, they have been nerfed, and they're pretty much unusable for the points. Maybe in the next update of the codex, like the shields will be free. You never know, and then they'll be good again. But the 2 wounds doesn't mean anything, okay? Because like I said, if they're nasty in combat, I'll just wipe them out. So, that's why they're number 1, because they can't catch anything and they die really easy. And they've lost their flipping armor bane. So Imperial Knight goes up to this, like, oh, who cares, boof, they're gone. You know? So that's my number 1, and let me know in the comments below if you agree with me, and let me know or disagree with me, and let me know why, okay? Why you think that why you disagree with me. Not just because you like the units. And thank you all for watching, and I hope this video has been enlightening for you and help you pick different units in the future. And just let me know what you think, and what your idea of the top 3 nerfed units are. And I will also do a top 3 buffed units in one of my other videos. Okay, catch you all again next time.